Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome into the Buccateers podcast. I'm your host, Tampa Tones. We're joined by the crew tonight. We got Cats looks like he might be bumbling in as well. It looks like we got a full house for the first time since Lord could remember tonight, which is cool. We're
That's
gonna
the whole two-live crew.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. We got the crew tonight. It's going to be a good one. We got a lot to cover. Not a lot of time. We're going to keep things moving. We know Kucherov is back on the ice. We know there's some other things to do tonight as well. So we're going to keep this thing moving. I'm Tampa Tones alongside the crew. We got Cats, Bucko, Cody, Stunna in the building. We got a nice little agenda tonight, obviously. A little bit of breaking Bucs news or news today, to say the least. And obviously, we were all sticking up for this gentleman. So we got some interesting talks tonight, to say the least, fellas. But crew, how the hell we doing tonight? Hopefully all your nights are going quite swell. I mean, we are 12-4. If we win this one, most wins in franchise history. So we got some good steam going into the playoffs.
No doubt.
Yeah. Anyone want to step up? How they doing tonight?
I'm well, man. I'm
doing well. Yeah, doing all right. We are 12-4. You wouldn't know it by what a lot of people say, but we are 12-4.
It's just doom and gloom. I mean, right now, as a Bucs fan, I'm kind of perturbed because of the shadow hanging over. What in my lifetime watching this football team, that 93-yard drive with 2 minutes and no timeouts that I witnessed. Yeah, it was the Jets or whatever. We should have never been in that position. However, that's the greatest drive I've ever seen a Buccaneers team have ever, and it's overshadowed by this shirtless Joe Jackson skipping through the damn end zone, and then all the drama that's ensued, afterwards. I just don't like this dark cloud over the organization. We're going into the playoffs versus the stride we were hitting at this time last year. So it's kind of cumbersome at the moment.
And we got a what's up from Toronto, Canada, from our man Donnie Pepin. How we doing, Donnie? Hope your night's going swell. We do appreciate you joining. You've been joining, so if you just hopped in, we're just starting talking some AB. I agree with Bucko, though, a little disappointing after that comeback, man. We had a hell of a comeback. Cyril Grayson stepping up, Tom Brady coming through clutch. And that's really what should be talked about. So anyone else have anything to say about that comeback briefly that's sadly overshadowed at this point in time?
I'm with Bucko.
That was an incredible. I haven't seen many of those in Bucs history, and there haven't been many of those 93-yard drives with less than 2 minutes or however much time it was. And at that point, with everything that happened with AB earlier, it didn't look very promising, to say the least. The Jets are not a good team, but hey, they came out, they got the win. It was good to see Cyril Grayson make those big catches. I think they even were able to get Tyler Johnson and Perryman involved a little on that final drive, and Brady was masterful there. So, that's something they could take moving forward, while they try to put this, extracurricular stuff behind them.
Yeah, Cody, what say you?
I was basically saying the same as Bucko and Cats. I'm not used to seeing it, but at the same time, it's Tom Brady, and I think that's maybe why the fan base has been kind of negative, even though we're doing good. You just expect better. You expect, we saw last year, and I don't know, it feels different. What I'm hoping is something like this AB thing. It can tear a team apart or bring them together. We've got a lot of leadership, Super Bowl champions, so I'm thinking this is going to, hopefully bring the team together. So. I don't know. We'll see.
That's funny you just say that, because we got a take on Twitter from Pops joining us once again. He says he has a different take on the AB situation. He feels like it could bring the team together. So kind of saying what you're saying, Cody, how you're hoping it brings the team together. He thinks it could, and that could be a moment where you've seen it on the sideline. We were losing to the Jets. He started going berserko. All of a sudden, we started winning that football game. Guys started making plays. Not Tyler Johnson, sadly, but other guys stepped up and made some plays. So it was good to see, obviously, us rally, get the win. And now moving forward, we'll be a little shorthanded, but we'll deal with that along the way. Stunna, what say you on what happened Sunday in the comeback win and that being overshadowed?
I think that the Bucs this season have showed you just how hard it is to repeat. and everybody's going to give us their best look, their best effort. And it's extremely hard to win on the road in the NFL. And that being said, first ever road win in New York Jets. And people that are Bucs fans from the 80s remember that the Jets was a serious rival of ours back in the day. So I'm just so proud of my team. I'm just so proud of their effort. I'm just so proud of what we did defending the Super Bowl championship, which we did not do a great job of in 2003. And I can't wait to beat the Panthers because I really don't like them.
Yeah, don't like them. And they're 13-4. I mean, well, why not have the extra game and give us our most wins in franchise history? Look, all things considered, guys have underperformed. Guys have been hurt. We didn't have that injury bug at a large amount last year. You know, Vita Vea went down for a good amount of time. Mike and Chris missed a couple games here and there. But we didn't have this onslaught of injuries. And now the dramatic overshadowing cloud that's hanging over us right now. So, you know, again, while I'm happy to be here and I'm appreciative because we know what the alternative is, it's still, I don't like going into the playoffs this way. I don't like it.
And Cleveland Me chimes in on YouTube. 2022 prediction. Yeah, I can't believe it's already 2022. Happy New Year to you all. By the way, rest in peace to Betty White. And we did iterate John Madden on the last episode as well, but times are flying. But 2022 prediction, AB quits Dancing with the Stars halfway through because he can't perform on his ankle. Well, he was performing something the night before on that ankle. It seemed just fine. Let's just say that. So he seemed to have a splendid time with a young lady in the state of New Jersey the night before on that ankle. And, you know, it seems as if the ankle magically got worse after halftime, midway through the third quarter. But as Donnie says, before we open up the floor about AB shortly and move on because we want to talk about the game, thank you, AB, for helping us get another Super Bowl. And fuck you, Antonio Brown, for trying to ruin our team chemistry. Pardon my French if you have children around. Hopefully they'd hear my son. I agree. Obviously, he did help us win a Super Bowl. It was good last year. You know, he was more calm. He lived with Tom Brady and Giselle last year, and when you live with something like Giselle, you ain't going to act out of line, out of shape. Let's just put all the nonsense aside. He was living with Tom Brady's children last year. He just got to Tampa last year after being suspended a whole lot of games. So there was a couple different factors last year why Antonio Brown seemed to keep his head on straight at the very least. Obviously, this year seemed to at the beginning of the year. Then the COVID thing popped up. We all had his damn back for his on-the-field play, at least. We all wanted to keep him here because he's obviously an amazing talent on the field. He showed that as soon as Sunday. He made some great cutting routes against the Jets, had someone eating dirt. But, you know, at the end of the day, what he did was unacceptable. What keeps coming out of the story, true or not, we'll filter through that as time comes. But end of the day, what he did here was unacceptable. He showed it at other franchises before. I was fooled by him, but he did bring us a Super Bowl, so it did pay some benefit. Gentlemen, anyone got anything to add?
Well, there's really only one thing to add. You can only keep Crazy contained for so long. And at this point, Crazy broke containment and went off down the sideline, skipping through the end zone. So it is what it is. We had a nice run. You know, guys like AB, guys like Richard Sherman, who I went to bat for, you know, for this franchise, you know, thinking they would help us. AB did help us. I don't think we get the Super Bowl without him last year. But this year, he's a hindrance and brought drama to this organization that's not a normal drama. We're normally not having these type of issues. It's just we've sucked on the field, you know.
And real quick before someone else jumps in, we got our good buddy Mike Martinez from Big Rican on Sports saying good luck this week, boys, for the Bucs. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you watching, my friend. Maybe you could join us for our Super Bowl show again. Regardless, when we get there, we're going to do one. But either way, there will be one. Anyone else? Cody, we'll go at you next. Antonio Brown thoughts? Final thoughts, I should say. Final thoughts.
Yeah. I'm glad we brought him in. He helped win a Super Bowl. I hate how this year went down. I hate that all this is right before the playoffs, all the negative publicity, all that. But at the end of the day, I'm not a doctor, but like he's clearly got some mental issues. I hope, like human to human, I hope he gets some help. I hope that dude gets it figured out because I don't see any kind of a happy ending for Antonio Brown. Like it just, I'm pissed off at him, but I also, he needs help.
It is sad, like you said. Me especially, man. I was telling you guys earlier this week, but when I was watching that thing live, it was all the emotions. It was like it was shocked, it was it was surprise, and then it was funny, and then it was sad, and then it was just everything in one. And then I hope he gets help. Like you said, hopefully he gets help. I don't see any happy endings, so we'll see. Cats, thoughts on AB? Final thoughts on what happened on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I am still glad that the Bucs brought him in here. He did help us win a Super Bowl. He had some very high highs and certainly very low at the end. I'd say before that, it really hadn't been too much. And yeah, he's clearly not in the right state of mind. So it's not worth trying to overanalyze what he does too much now. But I do hope he gets well, and I wish him well.
It's time to close out the AB talk as we then move on to possible playoff matchups or who we might want to see in round one.
When you get over 30 in the NFL, your time is short. He was always injured. He was hurt last year. He didn't play at Green Bay. This year he was hurt again before the suspension. He did do a good job against Carolina, but that's the team without it. So he did contribute. He was valuable, but he wasn't like a main cog or main contributor. Plus, he was kind of washed off. I love AB. I wish he was a better man and wasn't adolescent. But everyone, you got to be true to who you are at the end of the day. And I do appreciate him helping.
Yeah, you got to be true to who you are, but like you said, at the end of the day, we appreciate him for helping. We get one more thought from Donnie on AB. What team signs him next year? Some team will take a chance. I think he's done, man.
He's done.
I'd put a fork in him.
All of y'all wishing him help and hope he gets well. I say fuck him. The way he did embarrass my team and did that, and then trying to further diminish the credibility of my organization, it's unforgivable.
I'm more pissed off at people bagging on it BA about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Didn't do nothing wrong. I even called in the 620. They were trying to say it's BA's fault. BA didn't do shit. He said, get in the game. No, okay, go to the locker room. How many times do you see people get escorted to the locker room training staff?
Yeah.
BA did nothing wrong. BA's a total professional. BA's a hero. BA's the greatest coach in Buccaneers history. People need to get off.
I do agree with that. That BA actually has stuck his neck out for AB quite a bit these last 2 years, especially this year. And yeah, he didn't deserve to be repaid. By the way, Antonio Brown repaid him. BA deserved better than that. So I got to co-sign with what you both said. I agree with that as well.
I agree with what everyone said as well. And let's not be lying to ourselves here either. This didn't only happen with Tampa, right? This happened with Vegas and Gruden, while Oakland at the time and Gruden. And then this happened with Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin. Before all those emails came out, Gruden and Tomlin, two very highly regarded coaches around the NFL. Still to this point, Tomlin is one of those. Bruce Arians, one of those highly regarded coaches around the league. BA ain't going to do nothing to risk his status of a top tier guy. Think what you want about him as a coach. We're talking about BA as a person. BA as a person is a fantastic human being. He's given opportunities to those who could only dream of having football coaching opportunities. He has the most diverse staff in the NFL. He brings in guys and gives them second chances. Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown. And these guys make what they want of it. Antonio Brown made lemonade out of lemons in season 1. And then season 2, he just couldn't do anything. And I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on there. But I could see where you're coming from, Bucko, because like you said, he did embarrass the crap out of his franchise and whatnot. And yeah, I guess he did have time. And New England too. So Cleveland Meat chimes in quick. He chose not to get help and screwed 4 teams. He is a joke, and BA is a good person, unlike AB. Sorry he coached him tough. Man up and shut up, AB. Zero professionalism. And one thing about this coming to an end, ABBA, that's a tongue twister at this point, fellas. It's getting tiring. It's all the same. ABBA.
They're opposites in every sense, even
Verbiage wise.
even acronym and in person, everything.
Yeah, I can't see anyone sticking up for AB at this point, man.
No, not at 35 years old. Not after your fourth fucking strike. I mean, no. I mean, look, let's just hope he can keep getting these $300 cameos and poorly articulate dumb shit over and over again, and he can make it off that. Screw that guy. I'm done. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
So Eric White chimes in to change the subject. Let's fricking go, boys. Hey, Eric, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. And then we got Mike saying, coming in from the Arctic Circle, let's go Bucs. Wow, a man from afar. So we got Canada coming in. We got the Arctic Circle joining us. We got people from all over joining the Buccateers tonight, fellas. So we do have a big Week 18 game in terms of playoff seeding. We'll get into that in a little bit. Now we'll talk seeding scenarios, who we want to play come Week 1 in the playoffs. Now, everybody's pretty much saying we're going to play the Eagles, 80% chance I've read, according to some simulations.
Yeah, it's either the Eagles or the Niners. That's the two options. That's it.
Unless we lose, but that's the least likely scenario.
Yeah, and Mike, I know it's part of Canada, but I mean, what part of Canada? Arctic. Oh, and Danny Pepin says he wants the Eagles. Fellas, who do you guys want?
I don't care. Either one. It doesn't matter. If we can't beat either one of those teams, we don't deserve it. So it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I agree with that. Although I love it. I always like to play the Eagles and beat the Eagles. So hope we play them.
Yeah, give me the Eagles over the 49ers. I'd much rather have the Eagles over the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles also. We pretty much dominated them and then let them off the hook again.
Yeah, they scored that touchdown with 8 seconds left to make it look close. Yeah, you're right. But we were beating the shit out of them. So if I had to pick one, gun to my head, yeah, give me the Eagles. But honestly, I don't care which one it is. We need to get to the next round.
All the way from Winnipeg. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd prefer the Eagles myself. And then we got, hey, what's up, Rob Cameron from Seattle? How we doing, my friend? Thanks for joining us for Go Bucs Talk. Everyone from all over, you love to see it. Canada, Seattle, different parts of Canada, that is. Obviously, Florida. I'd like to see the Eagles, but to me, the Eagles or Niners will take down either. And then there's just one little heartbreak scenario, but we're not going to lose this Sunday, so I'm not even going to mention that. So I like either game, honestly. And
yeah, I don't want to see the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of them either.
Yeah, but they got a lot of bad blood for BA.
Yeah. Maybe
yep.
so.
Stunner, can you talk? Your mic is getting a little frisky a little bit. So
he said they got a lot of bad blood for BA when he retired on them. So
who, the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably not going to, unless we lose, we're not going to see him. So the only way we see him is is if we lose.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
or in a later round, which if you see him in a later round, that means you've advanced, and that's great. But yeah, you don't want to lose. So yeah, agreed.
All right. Anyways, moving on. It seems like Eagles' main consensus there, or it doesn't really matter. It seems like, but seems like Eagles' main consensus there. Health heading into the playoffs. Anyone want to comment on any concern we got health-wise? It seemed like a pretty good sense of urgency from Bruce in the press conference. He said it looks like we're going to get the boys back all ready to roll. Shaq, JPP, Richard Sherman, Levante David. Gio Bernard was back at practice today. Ronald Jones in a walking boot. But if we get Lenny F back or if we get Gio back, that it makes Rojo more expendable. So
the main guy we need back is Levante David, Tones. I mean, as much as I love everybody else, as much as I love Shaq, Shaq is a beast. He's definitely much needed. We saw how easily expose the interior of our defense is without Levante David there. Devin White looks like he don't know what the hell he's doing. Kevin Minter looks like I can outrun him, and I'm 300 pounds and washed. I mean, dude, we did not look good. Poor gap discipline, poor contain, over pursuing runs, stuff we don't normally see out of our linebacking core. I saw it ad nauseum in the last 2 weeks, and I'm not okay with it. So Levante David, to me, is the most important guy that we need to have back to win in the playoffs.
Anyone else have anything to add to that?
I 100% agree. 100% agree with that. They are not going to go they won't go anywhere without him in the postseason. You might win one game without him, but you're not going to go deep in the playoffs without Levante David. He does so much to this defense that sometimes doesn't even show up on the stat sheet, and you only realize it when he's not there. And you're right. We saw that against the Jets team that was able to run the ball on us pretty well, very well, in fact. And that just doesn't happen with Levante in there. And again, so you realize how much he's missed when he's actually gone, and that shows his value right there. So, agree, Bucko, 100%. Got to have him back.
Cody, what say you?
I agree with both of them. Shaq's important too. You got to rest a passer. I would agree. I would put Levante first for sure, but our pass rush was iffy. The Jets were missing 2 starters on the offensive line. We didn't get home till like the 4th quarter, I think. So,
yeah.
And then I'd come with Lenny next. He's good at everything. I've said it a few times. He's not necessarily great at anything, but he's good at everything. He's been Brady's safety blanket in the, pass protection, the passing game. So those 3, the rest of them, like, not to diminish anybody else, but those are the big 3. Like, I think to win a Super Bowl, I think we need all 3 of those.
Oh, yeah, we need as many guys as we can get. I mean, hell, I'm sitting here looking at Golden Tate getting released the other day. Like, hey, you got anything left, bro? I mean, we need some help.
And I've seen the Golden Tate. I know probably not realistic at this point, but I've seen his name mentioned a few places. Stunna, what say you on the state of the Bucs injuries and Levante David in general?
No, I'm a Shaq Barrett guy. I think the Shaq Barrett injury that we got to get over. Shaq and JPP on the edge. We had some elite pass rush, and we really haven't had it since. And I think the interior of our defense can be hid by our D tackle. So I think the edge rushers and the edge defenders are the most important.
Very, very important. And we've seen, much as we've been clamoring for Tryon, he's looked good. He's flashed some greatness, but he's also shown he's not a complete player yet, and he's not to be trusted on an every down situation.
Kitty Brett in the middle, though, Bucko.
I'd like to see him too. The young kid's got speed. He's got moxie. I mean,
he looks elite when he's in there.
Yeah, I like Kenny Britt. Great 5th round pick there at where Auburn, right?
Yes, sir.
And Ian Hart comments, he says, Eagles because the 49ers have a legitimate shot of taking down someone in the divisional round. The Packers, that'd be interesting if that were to happen. A lot of people have the Packers as the favorites right now. Mike says, I really don't care. I want another shot at the Cheese Turds. Hey, I mean, we went 2-0 against those dudes last year, so I don't expect us to slow down. Rob comments, the Cards ain't shit, bruh. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're that great either, especially with a couple of the injuries they got going on. So I think we'll be all right, he says. Mike says, I thought Minter has done an admirable job. Yes, he's no David. Anyone want to comment on that about Minter?
Minter looked like dog shit Sunday. I'm not saying he hasn't in the past played admirably as our 4th, 5th linebacker. He's done good things, especially last year. But this year, he looks mid-30s. He looks slow, and he was a fucking liability against the Jets. And I'm not sugarcoating that at all. He was awful.
Cody, we'll give this one to you, Cody.
I agree with Bucko. I like him. I respect what he's done, but he was the worst player on the football field, both teams versus the Jets by far. You go back and watch the tape of that game. It was worse than what you see on TV. It was absolutely miserable. If Levante's not back, we got to do like 3 safeties or something because that's not going to work in the playoffs. You cannot. Not saying maybe it's just a bad game or whatever, but he looks slow. Looks like his age is caught up athletically. I don't think he can do it anymore. I think you bring Whitehead down, have Edwards and Winfield at safety. yeah, I'd hopefully not see him again this year, especially not in the playoffs. If we play a team like the 49ers with that run scheme, they'll run for 300 yards on us with the way we look. I don't want to see them, and I don't want to see Minter back on the field, ideally.
Yeah, what say you, Stunna, about Kevin Minter?
He's a backup. He's a special teams player. He's giving us all he got. These guys. I don't think he's purposely playing bad. You know what I mean? So Minter is who he is. His ceiling is where it is. That's why I want to see more Kenny Brick. His ceiling ain't even been touched. But we got to go. It's next man up mentality. Like the other guys were saying, if Minter got to play, then you better start scheming it up. You know what I mean? To kind of hide him. That's what you got to do it for.
Yeah, Stun, I'm having some trouble hearing you at times, but I could hear you a little bit still. Cats, we're going to direct this next one with you. Can we please talk about Mike Evans hopefully getting his 1,000 yards again, Hall of Fame? How important you think that is to the Bucs, especially with how banged up we are now? We might not want to risk anything. I know he's going to play. I know we're going to target him. We're going to try to get him there. But say if it's a third or fourth quarter, we ain't going to force anything his way given – the injury bug or, the walkout of mid-game bug going around right now.
Right. I do think the Bucs, I believe Gilmore might actually not be playing for Carolina, which helps. I think you'll see them target him early and often. Hopefully the Bucs can get out to a lead and a big lead, same way they did last time against Carolina. I do like their chances, and once they do that, if they do that, when they do that, because I think the Bucs will win this game easily, and you won't see Mike Evans again after that in the game once they get him his yards.
Yeah, Cody, what say you? Ian kind of says would love to see a lot of Evans in the slot going forward. Let the burners on the outside take the top off. Evans, Gronk, running backs underneath. So first off, Cody on the 1,000 yards. Second off, Evans in the slot. What say you on those two things?
I agree with Katz. I definitely think they're going to try and get him 1,000 yards. That Bruce Arians has mentioned it. We saw what Tom did for AB last year to get the incentives. I think, like Kat said, hopefully we just get an early lead. I think he has it by halftime, and hopefully he can come out. But this AB thing, I hope everybody, and I'm sure Bucs fans do, but this just makes me appreciate Mike that much more. What he's done, having AB here, dude, never complains, never an issue, only good things off the field. A stud on the field. His numbers are a little down, not counting the touchdowns, but there's just so many mouths to feed. But I don't know what Mike's meant to this organization. It's just a special player. As far as what Ian said, I agree 100%. I think we're gonna have to move. Mike's gonna have to be Mike in the playoffs. If we're gonna win, he's gonna have to ball. I mean, it just Cyril is what he is. He's stepped up. He's been really good, but we're going to be facing good defenses, good corners. They're going to have to get creative. They're going to have to move Mike around. And I would imagine we do see him in the slot. We're just going to have to move him around. We're going to have to find favorable matchups. Like, that's going to have to be the guy we count on. Him and Gronk are the two guys.
And let's be honest, real quick, Bucko, besides Mike and Tyler Johnson, not including Justin Watson because he's on this practice squad, the rest of our wide receivers are literally just burners. I mean, you got Cyril, you hope he develops into more, but then you got Perriman, you got Scotty Miller, you got Jalen Darden. All those guys are pretty much just deep threats at this point of the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, basically you're going to have to ask Mike to play the role that Godwin played. You're going to have to put Perriman and Tyler or Perriman and Cyril on the outside, and you're going to have Mike occupy safeties, occupy the middle, do the dirty, muddy work that Chris did for us so admirably. I think Mike can do it just fine because he did it before Chris got there. So, needless to say, yes, I think Mike easily gets his 1,000 yards. I don't think we rest him at all because we're probably going to need him to win this game because, again, everyone's putting their best shot against us. Carolina wants to end it on a better term. We just let Zach Wilson look like a pro, for crying out loud. So I'm not just going to automatically assume Mike Evans is playing for a quarter and then done. So I think he easily gets over the 54 yards, but I want to see him maneuver around all the different wide receiver slots. I want to see Perriman get an opportunity to run outside, and Tyler Johnson better not drop another touchdown again. I'm going to lose my stuff.
Yeah, that was hard to watch, and Ty Johnson dropped that one. It was a nice route. He got open in the end zone, right in the breadbasket from Tom Brady, and he drops it. That's how you get behind Cyril Grayson in the pecking order there.
And
Stunner, what? Or
hold
go
on,
ahead,
I'm sorry.
Bucko.
I just want to say one last thing on it, then I'm gonna let y'all have it. Shout out to Stank on Twitter who put it out there. But I saw the clip, the cut up of AB when he was trying to take his shoulder pads and everything else. Mike's trying to calm him down, being the leader that he is, trying to calm him down, and then he's able to get past that, go out on the field, catch a crucial third down to keep a drive going that leads to a touchdown. The way he compartmentalizes, leading on and off the field, he's going to be the guy to keep this thing together. So, Mike, shout to you, brother. You the man.
Yeah, Mike Evans has done so much for the Bucs, and he is up for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. He's our leading touchdown scorer in franchise history, and I mean he's breaking records. Last week, joined a pretty elite club as well. So good to see there. Rob comments as well. Mike, number one Buck all time, right next to Elstott. Stunner, what say you about that? Do you think Evans is up there for consideration of number one Buck of all time?
On the offensive side, yes, absolutely, he is. And I like to see Bashard Perryman in the slot. And Mike Evans' best route is a fade or 9 route. So I'd like to see him stay outside. And yeah, Mike Evans is definitely the best offensive player to ever play at Tampa Bay, unless you count Brady and Big Gronk, people like that. But yeah, he's up there as far as a Buccaneer for his whole career. And he's another guy that's going to be with the Bucs for his whole career, which is an amazing thing. We don't get very many of those. Obviously, Sapp, Lynch, we didn't get it with them. So.
And we've seen Mike Evans restructure and do some things, sign extension. So he's making it known he wants to be here forever. And boy, that'll be awesome. I think everybody could get used to Mike Evans being a member of this team for the entirety of his career. I think that would be a treat. We got a couple more comments piling in. Mike comments, just a comment. If the game is a blowout, as Bucko logs off, I guess that Mike Evans' comment was his log off. He did say the floor is yours after. Just a comment, if the game is a blowout, I would love Trask. Not going to happen. It would be nice, though. No. The reason why I say no is because if anything, they'd want Blaine Gabbert to get those snaps and reps, because Blaine Gabbert would be their man if something were to happen to Brady for the playoffs or in the playoffs. Obviously, thinking worst case scenario there, but if Sunday were to get out of hand, they'd want Blaine Gabbert to get repetitions, to get those throws in. Cody, what say you? Don't you agree that if it were a blowout Sunday, you'd see Blaine Gabbert, and it'd be better to see Gabbert so he could get used to throwing for the playoffs, perhaps? Because Trask, you want to see what you got out of Trask, but at this point, you haven't seen it all year. How much are you going to nitpick into 1 or 2 quarters of game time action anyways, week 18 against Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, we're just so banged up. I don't even think Trask will be active. I don't think he has been most of the year. Like, I agree. It'd be, I guess it'd be cool to see him, but yeah, I agree with you. God forbid something happens to Brady, or even if not, you want Gabbert to get the, every little bit he can get with the starter reps, game time. I know he's a vet, but still, yeah, I would have to go with Gabbert in that situation. But I am looking forward to seeing what we have in Trask next year, preseason or whatever. And I would imagine next year, regardless of Brady, Trask's either going to start or be our backup next year. I don't think Blaine will be back, would be my guess. I would hope so. Otherwise, I mean, spend a second round draft pick to not see a guy for 2 years, that's just, I don't know. I wasn't big on the pick when we did it, but we did it, so I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, hopefully he can at least be the backup next year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, at some point in time, you don't want to shell out money to, a couple backup quarterbacks, especially when you have a draft pick there. I mean, this year we signed Gabbert and we signed Ryan Griffin, and, we got Kyle Trask. So it was just one of those things where we signed and brought back all these guys, and it's like, okay, it was kind of cool, but at the same time, what are you paying all these guys for? Cats, what say you?
Yeah, Trask won't dress in this game. And yeah, again, ideally, same as with Mike, you want to get out to a big lead and be able to rest Brady. I really do think we're capable of blowing them out again. They did put a spirited effort against the Saints, despite our struggles against the Saints. We're a better team than the Saints. So I could see us winning this one handily, and I think you get Brady out of the game as quick as possible.
Yeah, Stun, any thoughts on Trask, Gabber, if we'd see either or neither?
You might see one, whoever dresses. Trask might not dress. Panthers scored 6 points against us and then 10 against the Saints. So I don't think they're going to pose a big threat offensively.
And Rob says Gabbert got a good cannon, and his accuracy is much improved from what I've seen, in my opinion. Well, we have seen him a couple times this year, and he threw a couple times this year. And I mean, the thing with Gabbert is he played a couple big time games in his career too, so at least he has some experience and whatnot. But yeah, Rob, I agree. I mean, Cody and I were at that Miami game, so was Stunna, where Gabbert had a couple throws, and you know, some of them were decent little throws out of Blaine. And then Rob also comments. We'll talk about it quick before we make score and MVP predictions and one big thing and bounce out of here. Rob says, I hope our whole secondary stays healthy through the playoffs. It shows the same passion they did last year. We just couldn't keep the band healthy to this point this year between Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy Bunting and Richard Sherman and Winfield and Whitehead and Mike Edwards. Between injuries and suspensions, all those guys have been out at some point in time. Cody, what say you on the importance of our secondary's health and just our secondary being there throughout the playoffs in Week 18?
I agree with them. They were huge in the playoffs last year. Turnovers, played well. Guys couldn't get open, and we're going to need it. We talked about it in the GC. Like, we still got Tom Brady. We still got Gronk. We still got Mike. But, you know, last year we scored over 30 every game in the playoffs. And with everything going on this year, the guys are missing no Godwin, no AB, all that. I just don't know that we can count on our offense to score 30-plus every single game. So I think not just the secondary, but I think the entire defense as a whole is really going to have to step up if we're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Cats, what say you?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'll also say last year, the defense, you know, in the playoffs, they played great complementary football. Defense came up with some huge stops, some huge turnovers in every game. Their worst game was the first one, and that was when Devin White was suspended. So you hope, yeah, the guys that have come back healthy in the secondary notably, and others that are still not healthy, you know, like we mentioned earlier, you haven't had a healthy defensive unit, you know, much at all throughout the year. It looks like, knock on wood, we might get them all healthy, or at least most of them, for the playoffs. And they're going to have to play good complementary football again, just like last year in the postseason. That's really the only way you win a Super Bowl, no matter what team you are. You're probably not going to score. If you're going to score 31, you're probably, you know, around that number. You're going to need your defense to come up with some big plays around that, you know, as well. So, yeah, hopefully we can get the whole secondary healthy and everyone else as well.
Yeah, secondary is key, and we've seen the secondary make a difference with the pass rush. When we have guys healthy in the secondary, it seems like we get to the quarterback a little bit better as well. So, Stunna, what say you on the health and status of our secondary heading into the playoffs?
It's very crucial, especially if we have to play a Green Bay or Rams with their receiving cores. You know, it's been a big deterrent, like I said, in the beginning of the year. And, you know, we're going to have that secondary where they're very crucial, probably the most important unit.
Yeah, I agree. And once again, you guys are tuned into the Buccateers. We're here live until the top of the hour, 8 Eastern or a little after, or 7 Central if you are watching, or shortly after. And then we're going to bounce out of here in about 20 minutes or so. But we do have some good chatter left. We're getting a lot of comments and questions tonight. So just awesome participation. We appreciate everyone tuning in with the Buccateers, as it's been a crazy couple days, a crazy week, and a crazy month, really, of football between injuries, suspensions, and whatnot. Mike says, how much money will it take to re-sign Godwin? That's tough to say. He had a big injury, but he's going to take big money next year, and he deserves it. He was playing on the franchise tag. A big injury like that, you want to sign a big contract next year for the most money you can for the most years possible. So we've seen wide receivers get paid coming off these injuries before as well. Like Allen Robinson had a big time injury and he got paid coming off of it. So I think that Godwin will get roughly in like the, it's tough to say, but 20 million a year range, maybe a little north of that. Cody, what say you on your thoughts of how much money it will take for Godwin?
Without looking at other contracts, he's going to be paid his top five for sure, and he should, injure or not, he's earned that. Tampa, I hope they do right by him. He's earned every bit of that. Light and them are real good with the contracts too. We can find a way to, you can still pay him while protecting yourself, and he's earned every penny of it. He does. He's so crucial to what we do on offense: running, catching, blocking, yards after the catch. He's a special football player. So yeah, he'll be in the top five wide receiver salaries, whatever that is. 20, I would imagine, the 20 million range. But they can still protect themselves, guaranteed money, void years. Like there's ways where if for whatever reason, God forbid, he doesn't come back right, that we're not just screwed for the next 5 years or whatever. So I'm sure they'll get creative. I think he wants to be here. I'm sure we obviously want him here, lighten him. So I'm confident they'll get something done where both sides are happy.
Stunna, we'll put this question to you because we're getting questions pouring in. So, as we run out of time, I'll kind of just ask everybody a different question, get their opinion on it and whatnot. Stunna, this one says the GOAT, ROH, Brady, ROH. But before we get to that, I want to agree with Cody there. Godwin got hurt, but he agrees top wide receiver money, and he's going to get paid that top money. So anyone that says, oh, Godwin should take a pay cut to be here, no, he shouldn't. No. Because, he already risked it all playing on the franchise tag, and we've seen the direct result of that risk of him playing on the franchise tag resulted in another big injury for him. And it's not like this is his first bigger injury of his career. So you got to get, your money right. You got a family to feed. So he's got to be doing that type of stuff. So I agree with Cody. Everything he said about the contract, the health of Godwin heading into next year. Stunna, this one's for you. The GOAT, Ring of Honor. What say you?
Who, Tom Brady?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, Tom Brady, Ring of Honor. Absolutely. Tom Brady, Ring of Honor. BA, Ring of Honor. Absolutely.
Oh, I agree.
And I agree with you. 20 million, by the way, Godwin.
Yeah, I think 20 million is a good number. That's right around where Amari Cooper got from the Cowboys. So I think it'll be right around there. And we've seen a couple guys take less money to stay in Florida because the taxes and whatnot are a little better there. So, you get a couple more million in other states, but you save that money by signing the contract in Florida. I agree with you, Stunna. I think BA is a lock for the Ring of Honor. He's going to, I think Gruden, his name should have never got removed. That's a different story, though. I think that BA will be up there in the Ring of Honor right when he's done. And then I think Tom Brady will be up there as well. So, Katz, we'll go with you on this one next. This one's from Twitter. Can Saints make playoffs when we play them possibly and beat their ass again in playoffs? I hope so. That's my goal. Send Sean Payton out of New Orleans. Katz, what say you? You think it's any chance that we run into the Saints during the playoffs?
I believe mathematically it would have to be in the NFC title game. It couldn't be in the first round. So if that happens, that'd be great. That means we're playing in an NFC title game and we're playing it at home. And do I think we would beat them again? Yes, I do. Because it's hard to beat a team a third time. And, I know we didn't play our best football, especially in that Sunday night game. So, yeah, if it comes, I doubt it. It's highly unlikely that the Saints as a 7 seed would get there. Or a little more likely that we would. But if it does come to that, yeah, I believe we would beat them.
And that was from Pops on Twitter. So thanks again. Yeah, I think that some Bucs fans would be fired up if we did happen. But, they do have our numbers. So that's playing with fire a little bit. So, but I think we do beat them if we did see them in the playoffs. It'd be like last year, except they don't have Drew Brees. And I think we'd come to play a little bit more. So, Cody, this comment's for you. Don't want to look forward too much. But if we want to beat the Packers, the formula is the same. Stuff the run. Make Rodgers convert on third and long situations. He's a master at West Coast cheap-ass offense where they just take what you give him. Give them nothing, easy and they can be beat. What do you say about Ian's comment on the Green Bay Packers? Could they be beat? And status of their formula, stuff in the run and whatnot.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. That and rush the passer, which is what we did. We shut them down and we got after Aaron Rodgers. I don't remember the exact sack totals. I remember Sue a few times, but I remember him running for his life. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. Run defense travels in the cold. They say run game travels in the cold, but so does defense. And I think we match up well with them. Carlton Davis had Devontae Adams on lock twice last year. Like he could not. If you can take Devontae Adams out of the game and take the run game out of the, I mean, you're asking. Aaron Rodgers is great. I don't like him, but on the football field he's great. But if you can force them to make Valdez, Scantling, and whoever else they got beat you, they're not beating Tom Brady. I don't, even with us being banged up. If we can again stop the run, which I think we could, and then even devil Devontae, whatever you got to do, take Devontae out, and they don't beat it. I think we match up better with Green Bay than like the Rams. I would rather play Green Bay over the Rams.
Yeah, and I agree with that because I think we could shut out the run, and then like you said, Devontae Adams and what else? Robert Tonyan's out for the year. And it's not like it's not like he was a huge threat, but he was a touchdown scorer last year, so that's a weapon down for them. And Aaron Jones hasn't been the same production-wise as he was a year ago. I know A.J. Dillon's getting more involved, but Jones isn't the same guy he was last year. So I think Green Bay is vulnerable. You play their game, you could beat them. So Stunner, this one's for you. I fear Lenny is hurt worse than we think. What say you on that? Do you think Leonard Fournette's a little more banged up than what's being said?
Well, you'd have to look at his demeanor on the sideline after the injury, see if he's trying to run it out or like icing it up. So I don't really want to take guesses with that. The bottom line is we should have done better. Although I love Keyshawn Johnson. I mean not Keyshawn Johnson, Keyshawn Vaughn, but he's too small. He got banged up already. So I hope they can get it, but we should have still brought it. Well, I guess we did bring it back, but
we technically brought in Lev Bell, but
well, that's true. Let's see what Lev Bell got this weekend. I would run the wheels off. But we talk about beating Green Bay. You beat Green Bay with a running game and keeping A.J. Dillon off the field. You don't want to see him in that cold weather running the ball down. That's a nightmare. So.
I agree with that. You got to keep A.J. Dillon off you got to stop the run, keep those boys off the field, make them throw, and then you just cover Adams, and it is what it is. Katz, this one comes for you. Maybe Antonio Brown will play in the Canadian Football League. Any chance that he resurfaces, or you think he's just done?
I don't think he's gonna. If the only offer he were to get were to be in the CFL, I think he'd be done. He's a Florida-born guy. I actually could see an NFL team taking a chance on him, though, if he's healthy next year. I could see it. I would not be shocked if he played in the NFL again or given a heavily incentive-laden contract. I wouldn't be shocked.
Cody, last one for you. Green Bay is one and done. Do you agree with that, or do they got more left in the tank? They're going to get the bye week, so automatically they survive wild card weekend. Do they make it out a divisional weekend to get to championship weekend? Pops from Twitter chimes in and says to beat the Packers, you just need Sue to smack Rodgers in the mouth like last year, and he folds like a cheap suit. What say you?
I've thought basically all year Green Bay is the best team in the league right now. Not talking talent, just how they're playing. They had that one terrible one versus Saints week 1, but since then their defense is much improved. But, Rodgers, for as great as he is, he chokes in the playoffs. So, I don't think so. I don't think they'll be one and done. I think it's going to be us versus them in the NFC Championship game again. But I certainly wouldn't be surprised. I mean, anything can happen. It's football.
And that's the game we love, football. Like you said, anything could happen. I expect Green Bay to be in the championship, but I could see them – if it's the right team going up there and look at Cleveland. If Baker Mayfield didn't throw 4 interceptions, they probably win that game on Christmas. But, we'll see what happens, man. That's why we play the game. Yes, Mike, TB12 is under contract for next year. While we were doing some maneuver in this offseason, we extended him, so he is under contract for next season. Donnie says he loves the Cadillac Williams. Fathead, well, thank you, sir. The story behind this one is for the longest time when fatheads were a popular thing. I did love Cadillac Williams. I had his jersey, don't get me wrong, but the only player they had available was Cadillac Williams. So, little be told, that's how I got a Cadillac Williams. And Rob says, I wouldn't be shocked if AB ended up in Dallas. Maybe next year, but this year with all, he's done this year, and I think he's done next year too. I think he's just done, but sure, Dallas might be a possibility if he winds up back in the league next year. But for this season, he can't play again this season because he's already too deep into this ankle woods, man. If he plays again this season, that'll only cause madness and chaos. He's done this year. We'll say that. Last comment from Rob before we get to score predictions, MVPs of the game, and one big thing. Rob says, all joking aside, no, not this year, because like I said, his alibi is my ankle, and that's what he's got to ride by. And now, if he played this year, you don't have that story anymore. So his lawyer's probably telling him sit out this year and whatnot. So score predictions and MVPs for week 18. Cody, score prediction for this week's matchup with the Panthers and MVP of the game.
I'm going to go with 27-17 Bucs, and then I'm going to go with Mike. Mike's in a big game. He's in a big first half with a touchdown. He might come out early, so that's the only thing that's picking me up on that. But I think he's got a lot to prove. Not that he needs to, but he wants to go out there and get it done. I think Tom and Arians want him to get the record. So, and he probably wants to show he's still the guy. Everyone's doubting us now without Chris and AB, and Mike's probably thinking, I was the offense for years. It was me. So I think Mike, again, not that he needs to, but I think he feels like he's got a lot to prove. So I expect a big game from Mike.
And what was your score prediction?
I'm going to go 27-17 Bucs.
All right, we got 27-17 with Cody. Mike is the MVP. That'd be awesome as we'd get him to the record-breaking 1,000th streak in a row, 8th year in a row. So he's tied with Randy Moss right now. He could be on his own. That'd be awesome. I think Mike will step up. Katz, what say you on your score prediction, not an MVP? We got Donnie saying 31-10 Bucs with Gabbert playing the entire second half and having a big game.
I'd say 27-13 Bucs, and I think Vita Vea is going to have a big game. We had our way with the Panthers offensive line up in Charlotte, and I think he's going to wreak some havoc there and create some sacks and perhaps some hurries and maybe even some turnovers as well.
And I'm sorry, what did you say the score was? I'm writing these down. So
27-13 Bucs.
Awesome, excellent. Yeah, Vita Vea, he might have his way. He's had his way with a couple teams this year, so we'll see if he does. And then Rob did clarify that he meant next year on AB. Yeah, I guess we'll see maybe a little better chance of happening next year than this year. It's all right, man. Don't apologize for the confusion. We're all good here, brother. He says 35-17 Bucs. Stunna, what say you on your score prediction and MVP of the game?
My prediction is 34-14 Bucs. My MVP is Cameron Brate, 2 touchdowns. And I could possibly see a shutout with our Buccaneers this weekend. Knock them out of there. But that's my predictions.
I'd love that out of Cam Brate, and we've been seeing him targeted in the red zone more, so that'd be awesome if he keeps it up. Mike says Bucs in a rout, 28-10 Bucs. MVP the GOAT. Mike's going with the GOAT. So we got the GOAT. We got Gabbert. We got a couple. So this is who we got so far. Gronk MVP. Rob just says Gronk MVP. So we got Gronk. We got Brady. We got Brate. We got Gabbert. We got Vita Vea. We got Mike Evans. We got a good little plethora. I guess that and Donnie says his MVP is Jordan Whitehead. I guess that leaves me. I'm going score prediction. I think it's a little closer because I think fake Doug Heffernan, aka Matt Rule, is gonna, go out a little fighting in his last game as coach at Carolina. I think he gets fired after the game. So I think that what's going to happen is that he fights a little bit. The team fights for him. They know it's his last game there. I'm going to go with 31 to 23 Bucs. I see us winning by 8. I see our starters playing a good amount, and then I see Gabber entering the game in the fourth Q. I see a couple of other things getting interesting. I'm saying if he suits up, I'm going with Keyshawn Vaughn as a man to watch as a player of the game if he suits up. Right now Bruce said he is fine. I think he has a chance to be lead back, and I think he has a chance to show some good potential in the last game. So, and Donnie says 2 pick sixes out of Jordan Whitehead. That'd be incredible. That guy's been all over the dang place lately, so that'd be awesome. Fellas, it's already almost been an hour. We're past the top of the hour. It's time for a one big thing walk-off segment on the Buccateers as we close out and wrap up here. Katz, we'll start with you. Thanks for joining us tonight, brother. What's your one big thing and walk-off to look at on Sunday for the Bucs?
Certainly. Well, on Sunday, obviously, again, stay healthy. Don't get any unnecessary injuries, obviously. So, hopefully, like I said, you've got to, really get off to a good start. And part of doing that, and this is going to be something I will not harp on here at the end, but is play calling on offense has got to be better. I try not to complain about that too much, but these last few games since the New Orleans game, they've gotten very conservative again. They've been running on first down way too much. They've been able to win both games, but you're not going to win in the playoffs doing that so predictably. And I've given Byron a lot of credit this year for some very good aggressive game plans for a large part of the season. And like I said, since that New Orleans game where things just didn't go well, it kind of reverted to, that, conservative game where they're running on first down and teams are, you're wasting it down there. So going forward, they're going to need to be more aggressive on first down with their play calling and trying to throw the ball more on first down where they're successful when they do that.
Yeah, Stunna, thanks for joining us tonight as always, my friend. What's your one big thing and walk-off heading into Sunday?
2021 is over. It's a new year and a new opportunity for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is our year. Let's try to go for 2. It's been rough. It's been hard. And I hope our guys can make it to the finish. But we are definitely blessed to have Tom Brady at quarterback.
We are blessed to have Brady at quarterback, and as time goes on, people really got to appreciate, cherish these moments of watching him play because it ain't going to last forever, folks. I mean, we're talking about, we could, let's just enjoy what we got, and we'll worry about that later. But 2021's over. A lot of adversity for this Buccaneers team. We're on the up and up until 2022. Cody, thanks for joining tonight, sir. As always, brother, we appreciate it. What's your one big thing and walk off to watch for on Sunday at 4:25 Eastern Time on CBS with Tony Romo and Jim Nantz on the call?
So when I think of the Bucs, I still go back to like being a kid, the defense. That's what we're known for. Sapp, Brooks, Barber, Lynch. So like I always just associate with Tampa defense. But these last few years, even going back to with Jameis, not counting the interceptions, we've had a prolific offense for a few years running now. So that's been a lot of fun. And I think on Sunday, we're going to see 3 more of those records get broken. Mike's going to break the 1,000 yards. That's going to happen. Brady, I think, needs like 109, 110 yards for the single season passing. And then I think he's also going to break his touchdowns in a season record. So it's cool seeing these offensive records get broken. We were such a miserable offense for so long, and it's just it's exciting watching us put up 30 plus a game. It's just been a lot of fun.
It's really crazy too because ever since Bruce Arians got here, love him or hate him, I feel like our offense has just started breaking records. Even with Jameis, and we were scoring all these crazy amount of points a game. So, ever since Bruce got here, this Bucks offense took a whole new element of excitement on, and then obviously with Tom Brady, Gronk, and Lenny F when healthy, it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing into bigger and better things. So my one big thing to watch for on Sunday and my walk off when everyone's eyes are locked in on the television this weekend, it's 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central. Everyone's going to be worried and focused about the game, and that's how it should be. You're going to see this Bucks team do what they do best. You're going to see Tom Brady come out there and lead. You're not even going to see the offense miss a beat without Antonio Brown. He's a hell of a player. But you know, for at least this week, Tom Brady's going to come out wanting to prove a fact that they're going to be playing really hard. They're going to be playing like they did that second half against the Jets. You know, I think that they're going to come out swinging. They won't miss a beat. Tom Brady throws for over 300. He throws a couple touchdowns. I mean, he has over 40. He's the only player other than Drew Brees in NFL history to have back-to-back 40 touchdown seasons throwing wise. So he's going to come out firing. This offense isn't going to miss a beat, guys. So my comments, as it'll be our last comment, we take retire BA, hire Leftwich for head coach. Give me Todd Bowles. If we have a coach on the staff as our next coach, if it's not someone from out of the circle of Bucks, give me Bowles over Leftwich. Quick, guys, before we bounce out, we'll ask that Leftwich or Bowles. Cody, we'll start with you. Bowles or Leftwich, if we had to pick one as the next coach.
If it had to be one of them, man, that's so tough.
Because, you know, like it or not, we have heard a couple times now. We don't know how true it is, but the Bucks have said, you know, they feel like the next coach is on the staff.
I think Bowles, you know, obviously he's been around forever. He's more prepared, but you know, when Brady retires, I think that's when Aaron retires. Then we got a young quarterback. We've got Byron, who, you know, I'm far from completely sold on him, but I can see the case be made where they went that way. You know, young quarterback, young head coach, work together, see what they can do. But I would probably lean towards Bowles, but I mean, I really don't want either of them. If we're being just totally honest, I wouldn't hate it, but I don't know. You never know what's out there. I guess I wouldn't hate it. I definitely wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, Cats, what say you? Rob says Bowles is his pick. Cody sounds like he leans Bowles. I slightly lean Bowles. Mike says Leftwich. What say you, Cats?
I lean towards Leftwich as well, actually. I like the trend of hiring young coordinators. I know, you know, he's taken some flack, yes, but for some things, but there's some things he's done very well. You know, it has been a strong unit. Yes, they've been a very talented unit, but that's how I would lean. If they're going to go with one of those two, I would go with Byron Leftwich.
Stunna, take it home. Leftwich or Bowles if you had to pick between one.
I wanted Todd Bowles when he got fired with the Jets, and then we ended up with BA in both of them. So, you know, I'm a big Bowles guy. I actually feel Leftwich going to get snatched up by Jacksonville this offseason. And I wanted to see more of the one guy, Goodwin, or whatever I think his name is, that was the assistant head.
Harold Goodwin.
Harold Goodwin. I wanted to see more of him this weekend with the Jets. You know, unfortunately, BA was there. But I would have liked to see him as a tryout, you know. But I think we got some great coaches. You know, we're really fortunate. I mean, it's the best time to be a Bucs fan. It ain't never been like this, honestly. You know, this ain't Ray Perkins. So, you know, I like Todd Bowles. I think the defense has kind of, you know, got hurt a little bit this year, but I like what we got going. You know, 3-4 is what we did in the 70s. We were very good at it. You know, I like to see our defense play like them teams, but you know, I'm definitely a Todd Bowles fan for his whole career. I thought he did a great job with the Jets. I know when they played down here, Robbie Anderson burned us deep, and they had a good team then. Obviously, they just didn't have an offense.
So yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, better than Ray Perkins for sure, and that could be its whole own episode. But fellas, people are saying goodnight. They're logging off. Mike is leaving us. Rob is leaving us. It's time for the Buccateers to fade into the night. And you guys enjoy your lightning tonight. We know another Bucs podcast will be starting up in a little bit if you are watching that. So whatever you guys got going on with your Thursday night, enjoy it. Make do with it, and we'll see you guys early next week. We're gonna have our playoff primer. We're gonna try and have a couple cool guests next week. So Mike says Ray Perkins couldn't coach a flag football team. Yeah, I think you I think you're aligning with our thoughts, but we'll get into that on another episode down the road. So on behalf of all of us, it's been a fantastic Buccateers. We had the Krew. Go Leafs, go! Nah, bro, Lightning bolts territory, brother. Leafs. We share the same football team, but not the same hockey. So, Rob, hell yeah, go Bucks! Everybody, go Bucks! As we bounce out of here, go Bucks, and stay clear of them toilet seat licking Instagram models, I guess, is what we're learning. Leading to some COVID test and all kinds of crazy frog positions. So, anyways, we're out of here, fellas. And now we got go Blackhawks. It's getting too crazy in this room for me. Until Sunday, go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
It's win a home game. 7-1 at home. It ain't happening very often.